very, very happy beyond the limits because their marriage is illegally nullified by the Kerala High Court, and that order is set aside now by the Apex Court. Yes. Then they can unite, they can live together as husband and wife. They can decide their life, and she may continue her house urgency. She may go to somewhere else. Anyway, whatever they can do.
Court set aside the High Court order, and she has settled liberty now. Already pronounced that order, and the High Court order nullifying the marriage of the Shefin Jahan and Hadiya is now set aside by the High Court, the Apex Court. So now there is no taboo before her. She's at liberty to do anything, and they can merrily live. No problem at all.
A shot in the arm for Hadiya and Shafin Jahan, as the Apex Court did not hesitate to restore the entity of the marriage which had been declared as null and void on an earlier occasion by the Kerala High Court. In doing so, the top court of this country has also upheld the right of an individual to freely choose a partner of his or her choice. In New Delhi, Meenakshi.
Good evening, voters. Today's debate is about the right to choose. The Constitution of India calls us an adult, capable of taking a decision at age 18. At 18, you and I can vote for a representative in the government. But strangely enough, everyone in this country has spent the better part of the last 1 year debating if an adult woman, this woman whom you can see on your screen, if an adult woman can choose her own life partner. Yes, I'm talking about the Hadiya case. And from day one, Mirror now has maintained that this case is about a woman's right to choose her own life partner, a perspective which the Apex Court upheld today. And which in fact brings me to the three questions that we will debate today. Questions that this case has sharply highlighted. Question number one: isn't an adult woman capable of choosing her own life partner? If you can vote at 18, if you can choose your neta at 18, can't you choose your own life partner at the age of 24 like Hadiya? That is question number one. Question number two: besides the couple concerned, does anybody have the right to go to court to annul a marriage, even if they are parents who are objecting to the adult son or daughter's choice? And question number three: can't adults choose their own religion, even if it is not one they are born into? So those are the three questions that we are debating today on The Last Word, and bringing two varying opinions, two perspectives to the debate are Aishwarya Bhati, advocate with the Supreme Court, and Geeta Bhatt, who is an RSS supporter. Welcome to the show. In fact, Geeta Bhatt, I would like to begin with you. With reference to the Hadiya case, what is so wrong about a woman choosing her own life partner? This is an adult woman. She's 24 years old. Can she not think for herself?
No, there is no denying of this, that anyone who is an adult has the right, just like they have a right to vote, they have a right to choose whom they want to live with, whatever they want to eat, wherever they want to go, travel. That is absolutely fine. Now, as far as this particular case is concerned, I think why it has actually been given so much of attention and it has been highlighted is because it is not just this might be just an individual case which we are talking about, because she has gone, Hadiya has gone and said that she went ahead with the conversion on her own will, and that is fully acceptable, but there is a larger question that needs to be answered, and that question is of that there are various other cases which have been highlighted, and why it has been so is that in the garb of providing love and providing protection, there have been many cases which have been reported where many innocent women, they have been by a very well-oiled machinery and a racket. There has been, maybe a psychological pressure or, a physical pressure has been built up, on them to actually, succumb to converting into Islam. And in some cases, as it has been reported by the state police also and by NIA, where they have been saying that there are suspected that terror outfits are also involved into it, and it has been proved also by NIA. They have built up a very strong case, and I have put forward
Geeta, but
that
I
case.
have a problem
So,
with the way
I
you
think
said
it is the larger
innocent
question,
women.
because what is
Geeta,
important,
but I have a problem with the way you said innocent women. Is it not the same for men? And why do you think that a woman could be lured?
you see,
in this
if you
way?
remember that in 2012, Oman Chandy, that time he was the chief minister of Kerala. He has reported in the assembly when a question was being asked about conversion. It is the chief minister who has stated on the floor of the assembly saying that it is not just, of course, there have been conversion of men. All 7,000 plus conversion have taken place between 2006 and 2012 in Kerala. Conversion into Islam, out of which almost 6,000 plus conversions, those are of women. So that is why the issue, it is more pertinent, because, and there are so many cases which have been reported where the women have gone and they have even testified, that they have been forced later on. When they realize that they have been forced to convert, and the whole facade of love was basically for conversion purpose. So there have been so many cases which have been there. There is the case of Athira's case is there, who was a computer science student in Kerala studying, and when she was, she was intermingling with her friends who were most of them of the minority community. She got attracted in some way and converted, and later on, when her parents, her mother especially, approached the court,
Geeta,
and when she was sent to a particular center, she realized, she said that it was
Geeta, but
Zakir Naik states
Geeta,
that
but
were being,
precisely what? So what if she, Geeta, but so what if she wants to convert to another religion? Doesn't she have the right to choose her own religion? And also, let me make it very clear over here that in this particular case, Hadiya chose to convert to Islam first, after which she chose Shafin Jahan, and then she got married to him. It was not the other way around. Let me bring in my other panelists. Let me bring in Aishwarya Bhati. Aishwarya, you've been following this case very, very closely. To us, it essentially boils down to the fact that this is about choosing the person you want to live with, the person you want to marry. Do you subscribe to Geeta Bhatt's view that women can be lured, women can be brainwashed, and women can be forced to convert to another religion under the facade of love? Are women that gullible? Aishwarya Bhati.
So, Kavita, I must tell you that yes, I've been following this matter very closely. I've been myself involved in this matter. I filed an impleadment for another mother from Kerala. But I must also tell you that Mr. Shyam Devan, senior advocate, who was arguing the matter today in court also, he did not, his arguments were not, in fact, he said my arguments are gender neutral. And in fact, some of the questions that came from the bench, the questions that the bench was also posing, they said, we have always supported individual autonomy, individual liberties, and we can't sit in judgment, neither can we sit in judgment, nor can we allow other individuals or state to sit in judgment or even question and examine choices that people make. Our choices may be bad, good. The bench went on to say that the concepts of public law, reasonableness, the whole world may think that your choice is unreasonable, but if it works for you, it works for you. And that is the level of personal autonomy that our constitution protects. But at the same time, there may be extraordinary situations, extraordinary circumstances where, this was an example of indoctrination. So here it was, you have to appreciate the facts of the case, where this girl who was studying, studying BDS, only daughter of an ex-army personnel, studying BDS, in the middle of the BDS studies. The father's case was that in the middle of the BDS studies, she went and she's major already, but she went into the guardianship of this lady called Zainaba, who runs Satya Sarini in Kerala. And there she called the father and said that I want to go to Syria to rear sheep. So all that came as a very, very, the father was really alarmed, and that was the reason why he went to court. Now, you have to appreciate that, our system, our constitution, our courts have always upheld individual liberties to the highest. Recently, we have seen the right to privacy being, upgraded to a fundamental right by a unanimous judgment of the 9 judges of the Supreme Court. But even today, Supreme Court said we can't give up that power also. There may be extraordinary situation. An example that fell from the bench was maybe a 20-year-old girl marries a 90-year-old man, and she's not able to, be discerning enough, or, because of her mental capacity, her educational background, financial, and you have to take it gender neutral. I'm not, I started off by saying that in the court, it was all gender neutral arguments and questions, and I'm also taking it that way. It's not about a man versus woman kind of a thing.
Like you said, extraordinary circumstances.
Of course,
right, Aishwarya Bhati, right, like you said. But, this also brings me to another question. We've seen, of course, I personally know a lot of people who've married people from other religions. I'm sure all of us know people like that. Now, if we do end up marrying a person from another religion, and if we do end up following that religion for whatsoever reason, whether if we choose it of our own free will, does that make it love jihad? Geeta Bhatt?
Not at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. It is not so. See, all of us as individuals and as adults, we have the right. We are in a democratic nation. We live in a democratic country, and we do have a right to choose our life partners. You see, but I think Aishwarya ji, as she mentioned, and she can, throw better light on it as a lawyer, that, there is a constitutional provision wherein Special Marriage Act, people, when they of different religion, different faiths, if they want to live life together, they need not give up their religion to live with another person. So the whole point is not that. What if I choose to do that?
Does it mean, Geeta Bhatt, what if I choose to do that? Does it mean that I've been brainwashed, like you just said?
Right.
Does it mean, if I choose to do that, if I choose to change my religion, does it mean that I've been brainwashed and lured into it?
Kavita, there are a series of incidents which have happened, especially in Kerala and also in Karnataka, which the investigating agencies have been pointing out for a very, very long time, and they have seen substantial proofs of it, and I'm sure that that case is going to go ahead, because please take note that the Supreme Court has very categorically said that NIA may go ahead with the investigation of love jihad. That means that it has accepted, the Supreme Court has accepted that yes, something called love jihad is present there and it needs to be investigated. Hadiya's case may be taken as already spoken as an extraordinary case.
Right. Geeta Bhatt, let me interrupt you there. Geeta Bhatt, let me interrupt you there. I have a copy of the judgment. Geeta Bhatt, I have a copy of the judgment, and this is what the judgment says. We clarify that the investigations by the NIA in respect of any matter of criminality may continue in accordance with law. Nowhere does it say love jihad.
Yes, but then what is NIA contesting, Kavita? What are they contesting? They are the ones. See, love jihad is not a term that I have coined or you have coined. It was Mr. T.S. Sankaran. He was he's a retired High Court judge. When in 2009, when a case came to him, and when it is his observation, which says very categorically that it seems that on the pretext of love, it is basically conversions which are taking place, and this needs to be investigated, and it is rampant. It is his observation. So it is not a term that I have coined or you have coined. And after that, as I just told you, that even the previous Chief Minister of Kerala, on the floor of the House, he has accepted the fact. So there are series of evidences which already the NIA is investigating the case. Even the state police of Kerala has come out with evidences where they have said that yes, this kind, in fact there are, even in Karnataka there are some cases which have been reported, and there are evidences that they have got suspected terror links with ISIS. So all this, since it is, it is already being investigated,
Geeta,
and when the whole truth will come out, we'll see to
like
it.
you to
But
come
you
in
cannot,
over here. Why
you cannot
target
just,
only one religion in that case?
You cannot consider it
Why
as
target
some,
only
as
one
some
religion?
hogwash and just put it aside.
No. Why target only one religion?
You
There are people who convert to many religions. You convert to Christianity, one embraces Buddhism, one embraces Jainism. Then why is that not an issue?
Right. Because
why
all
is that
the
not an
conversions
issue?
are taking place into Islam. Now, Kavita, as far as you just mentioned, you see, it is not only the Hindu community in Kerala, even the Christians, they have come out openly and have talked about this fear. In fact, if you see there the statements of the bishop of the Orthodox Syrian churches.
Geeta, but let Aishwarya Bhatti come in over here. Aishwarya Bhatti interpret what the judgment said for us. Aishwarya Bhatti interpret what the judgment said for us, and also tell us, is it in fact actually talking about conversion to Islam, or is it talking about criminal activity? What is this judgment talking about?
See, Kavita, we have to understand that, the entire spectrum of this case has been about this phenomena. The common terminology that has been given is love jihad. You also have to appreciate that there is a term called honey trap also. Now, honey trap is also a very, very, systematic and orchestrated exercise that is carried on, and it's something that we all know how it works. It doesn't mean that you take it as an affront to people's choices or take it as an affront to love. That is not how it should be taken. The point is, if love, if marriage, if it is used as a ruse, as a disguise, as a mechanism to do some ulterior things, to do illegal things, to do criminal things, that is what is the issue here. And yes, the NIA investigation has been into this aspect, which the Supreme Court has clearly, categorically, continued today. Of course, and also you must bear in mind that today what the Supreme Court has pronounced is just the final conclusion of the judgment, and they have very categorically said that the reasons will follow. And the two questions that were specifically posted by the bench, the honorable judges on the bench was, does the High Court have the power to annul marriages? And B, in what circumstances it should be done. So there is a lot more that will come out, and the investigation will also, of course, throw a lot of light. Let's wait and see.
Right. So essentially what the judgment says is that the investigations can continue, the investigations that the NIA is actually doing, which brings me to our second question. And this one, to me, is very, very important. Besides the couple, does anyone have the right to go to court to annul a marriage, even if these are objecting parents? And that especially is very important in the Indian context. We see a lot of young couples getting married. Their parents, their family may not necessarily be in favor of that marriage. Does that mean that you can actually go to court and try to get it annulled? Geeta Bhatt.
That happens all the time.
See, Kavita, if you allow me, I'll just complete my point which I was trying to make, previously, and that was when you were talking about the other communities. As I was just mentioning that there are, the church bodies have come out openly, and the bishops, like Bishop Matthew, has very openly said that he's been getting concerned calls from parents again and again, showing messages that how he has very categorically said that this love jihad, it is nothing else but a conversion racket. And not only him, there are many other, churches, other sects within the churches who have come out openly and showed their concern.
Right,
They have
right.
been saying that if there are
Geeta,
10
but
conversion, 10 girls who are getting
with
converted
reference to
into
this
Islam,
case,
there are
even the police have
8
very
are Hindus,
clearly
2 are
said on
Christians.
record.
It is happening. So,
Right, Geeta Bhatt, even the police here have very clearly said that there is no instance of coercion over here. We have Ruchir, who is on the phone line from Mumbai, who's joined us on this debate. Ruchir, go on, tell us what is your point of view?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I want to say this has got nothing to do with love. See, every sane, logical, civilized, educated Indian wants to conserve the present demography of the country, because changes in demography will lead to situation of 1947, which no Indian wants. So these conversions are form of Islamification, Islamic aggression to convert. So why should Hindus allow it? I think this is a simple case. This is a very logical explanation to that Hindus have already surrendered half of our land in 1947. So why we can't object to this kind of process of Islamification in peaceful manner? Thank you very much.
Ruchir, okay. Let me tell you, let me make one thing very clear over here, that Hadiya had herself, in fact, chosen to convert to Islam. And she has made statements to that effect in court. She has, if I'm not mistaken, convinced the court about the same. Which brings me again to question number 2. The fact that parents can go to court and seek to annul a marriage that they are against. Isn't that setting a dangerous precedent? Aishwarya Bhati, apart from the extraordinary circumstances we spoke about at the beginning, how do you see this?
So, Kavita, it happens all the time. All habeas corpus petitions, you are right. I mean, our social and cultural and family system is such that when young children who have become adult, when they want to, marry out of their own choice, which does not meet with the acceptance of the parents, then parents do file habeas corpus petitions. That's how most of them are filed. Or if parents have control of the daughter, then the husband files, or the boyfriend files that we are in love and we want to marry and we are not able to do that. But thousands of cases happen every day across India like that, where courts, as bastions of protecting individual liberties, they stand up, and any habeas corpus petition just ends when the adult boy and girl, they come to the court and they say what they have to say, and that's the end of it. But please understand that if there is an extraordinary situation, if there is a situation where there is a problem with the capacity of one of the parties to the marriage, or the so-called marriage, due to a mental capacity, financial, educational background, then these are questions that came up in court today. So don't look at it as an affront to, sometimes we do come across cases where fathers rape their daughters and even go to the extent of murdering. These are, of course, aberrations, but they do happen. But does it mean that as a society we stand up against that? I mean, don't take it as an affront to love. This is a very, very peculiar, phenomena that is happening. Love jihad, as is the common terminology. Love is being used as a tool for recruitment for hardliners, and that is why investigation is continued. So, there are very, very serious issues which face us as a society, which face us as a nation. It endangers the very national security, national integrity, and national fabric that we want to protect. So, investigation must go on. Please see it as an extraordinary case. Please don't look at it as a something against all interfaith marriages. Yes, you're right. All of us have friends who have interfaith marriages. They have very beautiful marriages. The point is, are you doing it out of your own will, out of your own volition, or is there something that is playing it? I mean, are you indoctrinated into something? Are you capable of making that choice?
But Aishwarya Bhati, one is forced to think about it. One is forced to think about it. One is forced to think twice now. If you were to plan to marry someone who is from another religion, this is a fear that lurks in the back of your mind.
You don't have to be worried at all. The Indian legal system protects it completely.
While we are discussing Hadiya's
there is a special marriage act that Geeta ji.
Right. If we can go one at a time.
The special marriage act that Geeta ji was mentioning, that marriage, yeah, I just wanted to make that point that, you know, marriage is one of those areas of civil law where we don't have a uniform gender neutral and religion neutral laws. In fact, marriage and divorce, these are the only two things that still remain out of gender neutral and religion neutral laws. That is why there's so much of dichotomy in our personal laws. Of course, that's another debate altogether. But there is a regime of Special Marriage Act where it is immaterial what religion you are from, and the couples can marry and pursue their separate faiths. So if you want to change the faith, it's up to you. But if you want to marry just for love and continue with your faith, you are absolutely capable, and the system provides you, the legal system provides you, the courts protect you. Please don't see it as any, kind of a problem or a speed breaker on interfaith marriages. Please go pursue your love, but please do it out of your own volition. Don't allow anything else to take over.
We've got two of our viewers who are on the phone line with us. Syed has called in from Mumbai, as has Sudhir Pandey. We'll go with Syed first. Go on.
Hi, Kavita. This is Syed from Chennai. The first and the foremost thing is that I think India still has not got independence for women. You know, still we are even in 1947 we had the same problem, and even now in 2018 we have the same problem. I think the state or anybody for that matter of fact, even the father or mother, has no business in interfering in who she has to marry or whom she has to live with. So Supreme Court, whatever the Supreme Court has done, I think that has gone the right way. And people who are talking about, you know, love jihad and other things as such, they can go, but they cannot interfere into somebody's marriage. So that's what I think.
Precisely, Syed, and one can only say thank God for the Supreme Court that is there as a guardian of all our liberties. I'm sure Aishwarya would agree with me on that. Sudhir Pandey on the line from Mumbai. Sudhir, go ahead.
Yeah, a little surprising and shocking. Are we still living in Stone Age or Medieval Age? I mean, anybody from America or from Europe, they will come to know such sort of stories that court are also giving some sort of funny decisions. The High Court, how come they could intervene in this sort of, you know, they then annul the marriage and all? I mean, two young adults, they like each other, and basically once you marry someone, you appreciate the basic virtues, not the religion or not the, you know, facial beauty or something. They might be liking, they must be appreciating each other. And what's harm? And then when two different religions meet, you learn different culture, you appreciate each other and appreciate each other values, like different values of different religion, each culture, each religion, they bring some good things from other. That's why world evolves. Thanks, that's all.
Right, Sudhir Pandey, thank you for calling in with your opinion, perspective over there, and it is perspectives like this that give us hope. You know, coming back to our third question, the third big question that we are actually asking, which is, can't adults choose their own religion, even if it is one that they're not born into, which of course is the crux of this case. Geeta Bhatt.
Yes, Kavita, of course. I mean, once when we come to this world, then by virtue of the religion of our parents, you know, we also follow the same religion. But as we grow into adults, and if we feel attracted or influenced, or you know, if we feel that there is a particular faith in which we feel that we can obtain salvation of our souls, then yes, of course, we can go ahead. But while we are discussing this case of Hadiya, I think it is important also to mention another very important case of a girl called Nimisha, you know, whose mother Bindu had to actually go to the court and ask for that girl who is still missing. You know, she is still looking for her girl, who got married, and both she and her husband, they converted, and there was another girl with her called Merin. Both of them, they informed, you know, she informed her mother that they are going to Afghanistan and they are going to be a part of ISIS, and she is still looking for her child. So there are such cases also which are there. I mean, we have to look at, you know, into all these type of cases also which have been highlighted. Another girl called Aparna, you know, she was in Kerala. She just 15 days before her marriage, she went missing. And then their parents, when they went around looking for her, they found that she was found in Satyasarani. And later
Geeta,
on, she confessed that yes, she had been influenced.
Geeta, but we are not talking about people who went to Syria or Afghanistan and joined the ISIS. We are talking about regular people like you and me.
You see,
if I choose
Kavita,
tomorrow to change my religion,
the point is that we have to differentiate. It is important to differentiate for people who are, who are genuinely attracted towards a religion, and when there is a nexus, there are organizations like
which
PFI,
is what the court has done. The court has said that the NIA can go ahead with the investigation.
There are many organizations which are working.
Right. Geeta, but the court has said that you can go ahead with your investigation. It is told the NIA. Aishwarya Bhati, coming to you very quickly. I'm running out of time on this show. Very quickly. The Constitution of India allows you to profess your own religion. I assume, if I'm not mistaken, it is under Article 25. Isn't that true?
You're absolutely right, Kavita. But the Constitution
I can
of
choose
India
to change
also
my
does
religion.
not
Does it also allow that?
You set up a...
Aishwarya, does it also allow me to change my
absolutely.
religion if I choose to?
But it has to be out of your own will. Yes, Kavita, it can be done, but it has to be out of our own free will, out of our own volition. Nobody can force us into it, or nobody can, there cannot be a machinery or, a system by which people are forced to get into something. So forced conversions is something that is not permissible in our law. Otherwise, we live in a country where our pluralism
and which
is
in
very
any
well
case,
protected.
which in any case is being investigated by the NIA. The court has given the NIA full freedom to investigate that aspect of this case, this particular case. In fact, we are completely out of time on the show, but I would like to close by thanking both my panelists and by saying this. Today, on International Women's Day, I'm very proud to be a woman in India, because the Supreme Court today has upheld my right to choose. My right to choose the person I want to marry, the person I want to live with, and my right to choose the religion that I want to follow, as is guaranteed by the Constitution of India. Thank you for watching.